Script title: Mastering Resilience, Turning Life Storms into Strength. Chosen philosophy: Stoicism. Chapter 1: The River of Chain. In the days when the Greeks still wrote on parchment, a young traveler named Demetrius set out on a long pilgrimage. His ship tossed on the Aegean, his course kept shifting by wind and storm. When his boat grounded near Troy, the entire crew urged him to abandon hope and stay ashore. Demetrius instead knelt on the sand and asked the wind itself for guidance. By the time he set sail again, the path had cleared, and his journey continued unhindered. The lesson from this ancient story is that change does not stop at the horizon. It flows through each moment of our lives. Resilience means learning how to move with the current instead of fighting the waves. The first step is to accept uncertainty as a natural part of the journey. When we become attached to a single outcome, we grow brittle and ready to break, just as a stone cracked under a sudden surge of water. Practical example: if your business launches a new product that falls short of expectations, instead of scrapping the entire concept, pause and ask 2 questions. What did the market truly need? How can the product be reshaped to meet that need? A small pivot can turn failure into a learning curve that keeps the enterprise strong. Reflection: when the river of life turns turbulent, do you feel the urge to remain still, or do you move with its momentum? Call to action: if you found this story useful, reach out by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more wisdom to help you ride life's currents. Chapter 2: The Stone and the Storm. Legend tells of a stone that was carried from the foothills of Mount Ararat to the temple of an Egyptian pharaoh. The stone, large and heavy, shivered in the warm sun before being placed at the center of the hall. The pharaoh, amused, asked the stone's builder whether he would be proud if the stone cracked under the weight of a single cat. The builder replied that the stone would hold, for it was built to endure. Now imagine that stone as a business model, a personal skill set, or even an ideal. The builder's insight was that resilience is not a matter of avoiding adversity, it is a preparedness to withstand it. The stone's strength was forged by choice, not fate. Practical example: suppose you decide to launch a startup. By conducting thorough market research, you test the foundations of your idea under various conditions: different budgets, unexpected regulatory changes, or even changes in consumer taste. This process is like the builder's careful selection of the stone's composition. You are deliberately choosing a robust design before the world's storms strike. Reflection: when you prepare for risk, what steps are you already taking, and which ones might you add today? Call to action: support the journey of resilience. Like, share, and subscribe so others may learn how to build their own indestructible stones. Chapter 3: The Empty Chair. During a conference at the Roman Forum, Emperor Augustus stood beside a marble chair that had once held the throne of a defeated king. He lifted the chair and placed it on a low stool in the center of a square. No one could see any sign of victory or humiliation. It was simply in chair. The message was profound. Success and failure are both mere positions. The difference lies in how we approach those positions. The emperor's act reminded onlookers that victory is not simply occupying a top seat. It is the willingness to learn when you are sat in the middle of the crowd. Practical example: as a manager, you might have a project that did not meet metrics. Rather than celebrating early achievements or castigating every missing KPI, hold a quiet session with your team where everyone shares what worked and what fell apart. By doing so, you convert a potential defeat into a collective learning opportunity. Reflection: what does your current chair hold, and how does it shape your perspective about challenges? Call to action: if this reminder changes your mindset, tap the like button, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more guidance on turning setbacks into stepping stones. Chapter 4: The Silent Teacher. Sage Confucius once walked with a young farmer who asked, "Teacher, how do I stay calm when my crops fail?" Confucius looked at the empty fields and said, "You cultivate your own mind, not just the soil." The farmer did not ask for a remedy, he simply wanted a direction. You can see this as a lesson that our inner world is as critical as our external environment. If your mind is constantly ruminating, every obstacle feels like a mountain. By training the mind, through reflection, purpose, or simple awareness, You create a buffer against external turbulence. Practical example. In a fast-paced workplace, practice a 10-minute journaling ritual before starting your day. Use it to note your values, set intentions, and release emotional clutter. This simple act conditions your mind to remain present, no matter what numbers appear on the screen. Reflection. When external pressures mount, which internal habits could you nurture to maintain equilibrium? Call to action. Like, share, and subscribe to grow a resilient mindset that thrives amid change. Chapter 5, The Path Forward. The ancient tale of the Athenian hero Pericles tells us that the greatest journeys are those that balance daring and thought. He once guided a weary soldier by saying, "Your courage is the fire, but your wisdom is the hearth." In today's world of rapid technology and shifting markets, courage urges us to innovate. Wisdom reminds us to measure, reflect, and adjust. When we balance both, we chart a course that is bold yet sound. Practical example. If you are leading a digital transformation, create a roadmap that tests early prototypes with small user groups. Use user feedback as a guiding compass, not a roadblock. This practice keeps your vision nimble while staying grounded in real needs. Reflection. What would happen if you added a deliberate pause before launching a new initiative? Call to action. If you want to keep exploring paths that merge fire and hearth, hit the like button, share this with your network, and subscribe for more life-shaping wisdom. Philosophy Spotlight, Stoicism. Stoicism offers a timeless framework for developing emotional resilience, clarity of thought, and disciplined action. Its core idea is that while we have no control over external events, we can choose how we respond. Key figures. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who kept a personal journal of reflections that later became meditations. Seneca, a leading statesman who wrote advice that framed adversity as a training ground for virtue. Epictetus, a former slave who taught that freedom is a state of mind. 3 lessons for modern success. 1. Control what you can. Stoics teach that the only things truly under our command are our own thoughts and actions. In business, this means focusing energy on strategy, execution, and learning rather than on market volatility. When you channel your efforts toward what you control, your outcomes improve and your sense of agency grows. 2. Embrace adversity as growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle on the path becomes the path." Every challenge is a training exercise that strengthens character. When a campaign underperforms, instead of floundering, analyze data, identify gaps, and refocus resources. Each setback polishes your ability to act with clarity. 3. Cultivate inner peace. Stoicism encourages daily reflection and gratitude. A simple practice, such as a morning log of 3 positive insights, keeps the mind calm and centered. This internal equilibrium shields you from external noise and allows you to act with wisdom. Connection to the theme. Resilience hinges not only on external adaptation, but also on inner steadiness. Stoic principles empower you to reinterpret uncertainty as opportunity, to convert stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and to sustain momentum even when visible results are slow. Final reflection. Resilience is a practice that blends endurance with insight. It is the art of riding the river of change, building sturdy stones of preparedness, sitting calmly in any chair, whether victorious or not, cultivating a silent teacher within, and walking forward with balanced courage and wisdom. Ask yourself, how will you apply today's lessons to weather the next storm in your life or business? Thank you for journeying with me through these stories and teachings. If you found value here, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep moving forward with resilience and grace.